Running a business isn't easy. Building a business with your family is even harder. Makeup mogul Bobbi Brown has been steering this complex dynamic for the past 3 years while building out her latest beauty brand, Jones Road. It's a venture she runs with her son as CMO, her daughter-in-law as the head of brand, and her husband as chairman of the board. A family affair like this can bring unique problems. Where does work stop and family begin? And how do you stop one from taking over the other? Or can you ever really separate the two? Bobbi Brown and her son, Cody Plofker, break it down for us. Here's how Bobbi and Cody work as a family. Cody, I would love to start with you. You originally turned down the role, is that right?
Yeah, when Jones Road was launching, the general manager at the time was kind of looking for some help and just ideas on some of the ad stuff in my background. And, she offered the role to me and I kind of right away turned it down. I was like, it's super exciting, but probably not a great idea for me to work with my mom. But I think it just so happened that the one thing in the world that I am any good at was the one thing that I think, Bobbi needed help with. So it was kind of just a perfect fit in that regard. There was so much opportunity and it was just so hard for me to not get involved past a certain point.
Yeah, you haven't quit in a long time.
Wait, is that true?
Bobbi and I are continuing to learn how to work together and get along.
I never thought in a million years I'd work with one of my 3 sons, particularly this one. And it's just been this crazy, crazy thing to see the smartest person in the room is actually your son. And the one that I go to for, just the simplest, most common advice.
So, Bobbi, if you never thought that you would work with your sons, what changed your mind?
Well, he knew not only what he was doing, but he knew what we didn't know. So when Cody started working with me and with us, basically, our business quadrupled. It really did.
When there's a family relationship within a business, how do you figure out that line of how far you can push things? Do you have to hold back?
Well, I guess it depends who's in the room. And Cody has really taught me, to be a little bit more conscious of what employees are sitting at a table. And maybe we'll take some of the conversations when we're alone. We don't want to have the conversations in front of his brothers or in front of his wife or my husband. We want to have some of these conversations, just the two of us. And, they get heated, but I have learned, not just for Cody, but in general, to get along with someone, especially when they're, excuse my language, men. It's really important to say, I hear what you're saying. Let me think about it and get back to you. To be less reactive, because I'm not the greatest listener. Cody will call me up and, Mom, are you ready for some feedback? Do you want to hear some feedback? No one's ever said that to me before. I'm like, all right, Cody, go ahead.
And Cody, what about you? This is your mom. How do you separate that between Mom, listen to me, versus, you're the CEO, I got it?
Being family, there's some privilege that comes with that and allows me to kind of say things that maybe, another employee might not feel comfortable saying or will. We kind of have an open back and forth on feedback and giving perspectives. But I also have to be very conscious of, like Bobbi said, who's in the room and not making it uncomfortable or making it really collaborative with everybody in the room. And then I think it's this is always a work in progress. But no matter how much we may disagree or argue or something like that at work, trying to not let those affect anything outside of work.
Family-run businesses can offer real insight into how you build and run an inclusive, multi-generational workforce, something all of us need to better understand. For the first time in modern history, the corporate world is mixing 5 generations in the workplace, from the silent generation to Gen Z. Family-run businesses have centuries of experience navigating these kind of generational conflicts. Grandparents learning from grandkids, parents motivating parents. It's clear that companies can benefit from the diverse life experience each generation brings to the workplace. So Cody, when your mom brings up ideas that have been learned over decades in department stores and working in the beauty industry for so long, how do you put those into your framework? How have you learned to navigate that?
I guess if I've, tried to study how Bobbi built her original brand, it was different than most other beauty brands, but it was largely education-based. She would go on TV and was able to educate, and that built, this amazing halo of awareness. And, if I think today's version of television is probably some type of social, I think we're well known for going viral on TikTok a few times. That was, kind of my idea, but a collaborative effort.
Well, Cody said, let's just go do it. Like anyone else, I thought TikTok's for kids. TikTok is for the sensational. TikTok is for, dancing grandparents. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. But then I was blown away by how many women of a certain age, from 40s to, 70s, that just wanted someone to talk to them, and they wanted someone to simplify things and teach them things. So, I thought it was pretty cool, and I also thought it was so easy. I'm not too old to learn some new things, and look, I still get exactly what I want. I know what's right for the brand. I'm learning a lot, and hopefully he's learning some of the, traditional marketing things that I have been doing for over 40 years.
Family-run businesses, specifically small businesses, are at the heart of America's economic landscape. According to SCORE, a nonprofit supporting small business, 19% of the country's almost 30 million mom-and-pop shops are family-owned, employ 60% of the U.S. workforce, and create 78% of all new jobs. 74% of family-owned firms also report stronger values and culture. This aligns with Bobbi and Cody's approach as they strive to prevent their personal challenges from negatively impacting their employees. What do you tell employees about how to think about the two of you in your relationship?
Well, I don't think we've ever really talked about it. And I'm sure there's some employees that probably don't work here anymore, that it wasn't their favorite thing, the dynamics. But a lot of our employees that work here now, our company is 2.5 years old. They've been here for, most of the time. Number one, they're younger. They don't have as much experience working in big corporations. And I think, they just really believe that they have a lot to learn from both of us, but completely different things. I think it'll be more of a challenge as we grow.
In most corporate environments, you might have something where someone pulls you aside and be like, I don't know, the CEO made kind of a crazy decision here, I think. But it's uncomfortable, or it might be a little bit weird to do it with someone when you're like, your mom made a decision that I don't agree with.
It's clearly Bobbi's company, and I think everyone at the company wants to please her and knows that she has high standards and wants to make her proud and make her happy, and also wants to do what's best and right for the company. So I think they'll come to me kind of knowing that, either I have that relationship with her, or I have, kind of some insight into maybe what she's saying or requesting or asking for, or what her expectations are, that I can kind of help transfer or explain kind of what she means, if that makes sense.
So if people come to you for advice, are there other lessons that you suggest to parent entrepreneurs in terms of bringing their kids into the business?
Well, certainly there's things like communication. You have to have, an easy way to talk about what is working, what isn't. You have to be really transparent about that. So you can only do it with someone that you have a good relationship with. And you just have to, just know like what your limitations are. We travel together as a family. We dinner together a lot. We're always together. My family is my posse, and they're the most important thing I have. So if it was going to get in the way of our relationship, we wouldn't have done it. But this has just been one of those like special, miraculous things that I never would have imagined. But, the advice is just really in anything, in any relationship you have, is open communication and honesty. The hardest thing about working with my son is when I, have to be careful to not mother him so much. Cody, have you taken a break? Have you gone for a walk? Do you have enough water? Are you breathing? Have you been out yet?
Yes, I did walking today. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm proud of you. Okay, but you got to be careful not, especially when you're a Jewish mother, to not Jewish mother too much.
So here's what jumped out at me. There's a delicate balance when it comes to a family venture like Jones Road. A simple personal issue, a fight in the car about forgetting to pick up paper towels, can cascade into a fight worthy of HBO's Succession. Unless, that is, those issues are aired out in a direct and sensitive way. But shouldn't that be the same for any colleague? What Bobbi and Cody have found is a way to talk to each other that constantly takes into account feeling and subtext, all with the goal of getting work accomplished. That seems like a great recipe for building a strong business and a strong family. So, what's your secret to working with family? Let me know in the comments, and you can dive deeper into this topic on the This Is Working podcast. You can also subscribe to the This Is Working newsletter using the link you see on the screen.